Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, I'm KingNido, and today it is the Levincia Wonders going up against the Holon Allies, and as they have a look at their opening hands, let's have a look at this tale of the tape between these two sides, because although the Wonders currently sit in 9th place, just one win could actually move them up into a top 5 spot. That is how close it is on the leaderboard at the moment, whereas for the Holon Allies, who are on the bottom all by themselves, they are yet to win a game, and if they do not win this one, they are guaranteed the wooden crown. So with that said, let us know in the comments below who you think is going to win this matchup. Will it be the Lightning decks? Will it be the Rainbow decks? Let's go!
3, 2, 1, go!
And having flipped heads, going first will be that fully charged deck of the Wonders. They do move the Electrode into the active spot, sorry, not the Electrode, the Voltorb with the Magnemite on the bench. That Electrode is in hand though. The Allies, using their Champion's Path deck, move the Shaman into the active spot with the Eevee on the bench, and they've got the Glaceon. They've also got the Garchomp in hand, plus their second Shaman if they so choose to use it. But the Wonders going first do pull the Magnetons already. They're getting some very good cards. They've also got the Giant Cape and X-Speed, but they send it over to the Allies, who pulled the Gabite. They're yet to get a Gibble, and this deck does produce those fighting and water type energies, and Garchomp needs one of each, whereas Glaceon needs 2 water type energies, as they're thinking of moving that Shaman onto the bench, but instead they don't, just moving a fighting energy onto the active Shaman, sending it back over to the Wonders, who pull the Magnezone. They could not have gotten a better card there, unless maybe they got a Professor's Research, but they get the Magneton online plus the Electrode, and the Electrode only requires 1 energy for its rolling attack to do 50 damage to the Shaman. This is a great start for the Wonders, because that does 70 damage thanks to the weakness of the Shaman, and they get the first point on the board. And this is not the start the Allies need. They are yet to win a series so far this season, and if they do lose this game, they are guaranteed the bottom spot on the leaderboard, as the second Gabite is pulled for the Allies, and they're going to get the Glaceon online. They don't want to drop the Eevee, but they do still require a second energy onto the Glaceon to start going on the offensive. It can't go for the Ice Beam right now, so they do send it back over to the Wonders, who do pull their Professor's Research. We did call that, as it is the X-Speed and the Rocky Helmet now being pulled for the Wonders. They are going to get the Rocky Helmet onto the Electrode. They want to make the Allies reluctant to go on the offensive. They do get that Magnezone online too, who does require 3 energy, but it is an absolute powerhouse with that Thunder Blast, where the rolling attack does continue here from Electrode, who is safe for the moment from taking damage from the Glaceon, but it is the Irida that has been pulled for the Allies, so they can immediately restore 40 health from Glaceon, because it does have a water energy on it. That is what is required for that Irida to come into effect. So they do move the fighting energy onto the Shaman, knowing it is no good to the Glaceon, but their next energy we can see will be a water energy. The Wonders getting the Giant Cape onto the Magnezone, and they can very easily get a second energy onto it here as well. And these rolling attacks continuing from the Electrode, another 50 damage onto the Glaceon, bringing it down to only 30 health, but finally a Gibble has been pulled for the Holon Allies. They are going to get that onto the bench. It is the fighting type Gibble that they have taken, and here it is, the Ice Beam from the Glaceon. It will do that 60 damage. It could also leave the Electrode paralyzed, and it will, thanks to that heads flip, so Electrode will not be able to do anything in the coming turn. This will buy the Allies a bit of time here, as the Wonders do pull their second Magnezone. They don't have the second Magnemite yet, but the Electrode is stuck. They're being paralyzed. There is the third energy going onto the Magnezone, but they cannot retreat the Electrode, and you can tell that the Wonders want to do so. They want to get this Magnezone online and try and maximize their damage in this best of 3 series, as it is the Cynthia being pulled for the Allies. That can allow Garchomp to do an extra 50 damage. Now we can see the next 2 energies being generated for the Allies are both fighting type energies, and that is not what they need right now, as they are contemplating how to go about this. They are going to get a first fighting energy onto this Gabite that has now been brought online, but that Garchomp will want the water type energy as well. And the Allies taking their time here. They know if they go on the offensive with the Glaceon, they are going to lose it as well, because that Rocky Helmet will do 20 recoil damage, so both teams will lose a point, and then the Wonders will only be 1 point away from taking game 1. And as we said, for the Allies, if they lose this series, they are guaranteed that wooden crown position on the bottom of the leaderboard. They are still yet to win a series. They have won some games, but they have not quite gotten the energy that they've needed in matchups. They are really taking their time. It's not very often that we see teams take this long. They are unsure. They cannot see a way out, it seems, as they are going to go for the Ice Beam, and they do not see a way out. They are going to take down the Electrode. They are going to get the Paralysis. Not that that really matters, because the Electrode has been taken out, but the Rocky Helmet is going to take Glaceon out as well. And we can see that time ticking down. They took so long to make a decision. It doesn't look like they're going to get to choose which card moves into the active slot. They went to choose the Gabite, but it is going to be the Shaman facing down that Magnezone, and that Magnezone with 110 power can wipe it off the board, including that weakness as well. They're able to maximize their damage, and they will take game 1 in this best of 3 series, as we are about to have a table reset into game 2. If you're enjoying what you're seeing, please comment, like, help the video grow so that this season can grow for many more to come as we head into game 2. And it will be the Allies going first with their Spring Path deck. We can see their Eevee that goes with the Leafeon in hand, along as well that Kadabra and Alakazam. It's the Pawmi from the Volt Tackle deck of the Levincia Wonders going into their active spot. Now, regardless of the outcome of this second game, we still play the third game because it counts toward their leaderboard regardless, as the Allies are going to pull their Abra. Now, the Leafeon, unlike the Glaceon, only requires one type of its specific energy, being the Grass type energy. They also produce Psychic type energies in this deck. As the Wonders pull their Pokeball, they can get a basic Pokemon, and it is going to be the Electrike, but they've also got the Professor's Research, so they are thinning this deck very quickly, as they do get 2 more cards, and they get the Manectric plus the Pikachu. There is a Raichu in hand. Again, the Wonders getting the cards they need nice and early here in this game 2. As the Pawmi gets its first energy, it can go straight for that punch onto the Eevee. 20 damage there, leaving the Eevee with only 40 health remaining. The second Abra has been pulled for the Allies, and they are going to get a first energy onto the Eevee. The Kadabra is online as well, and so is the Leafeon. Now, the catch with the Leafeon and that Leafy Cyclone that does 90 damage is it cannot use it in consecutive turns, as they think of moving the second Abra onto the bench, but they decide against it. And we can see that it will be another Grass energy being produced on the next turn. As the Wonders play the Pokeball that they immediately just got, they are going to get a second Pikachu, and they can get the Pawmo online. They can actually evolve all of their Pokemon at the moment, so the Manectric is online, and so is that Raichu. And the Pawmo getting its second required energy. If they get the Pawmot though, it doesn't actually require any more than the 2 energy on it. There's another 40 damage onto the Leafeon. This is fantastic for the Wonders, as the Giant Cape has been pulled for the Allies. They are going to get a second energy here onto the Leafeon. Like we said, it can do 90 damage, but it is a very easy target for that benched Manectric that can do 40 damage. The Allies are thinking of bringing on that Alakazam. The next energy they will produce again will be a Grass type energy, and they are going to put the Giant Cape onto the Leafeon. This will keep it safe from the Manectric being able to take it off the board. The second Abra does come online as well. And there is that Leafy Cyclone getting the Pawmo off the board before we can see a Pawmot come online. The Allies have taken their first point, and this is a must-win situation for them. Again, they need to win to ensure that they still have a chance of not taking that wooden crown this season. The Wonders pulling their second Pawmo, but they don't have a Pawmi, so they can't get that online. The Manectric with its 1 required energy for that flash, and during the Allies' next turn, they will have to flip a coin. Well, it would be the Leafeon, but the Leafeon can't go on the offensive, so regardless, the Leafeon cannot do damage. And speaking of Leafeons, that is the Pokemon that is pulled next for the Allies. And the Allies now thinking about how they want to approach this. They're thinking of using their X speed so they can retreat this Leafeon without having to give up any of its energy. Because it is a 1 energy retreat cost. They don't want to drop any points. They know how dire their situation is. They are going to retreat the Leafeon. They move the Abra into the active spot. Now, it does require a Psychic energy, but they have produced a Grass energy, so it will not be able to go on the offensive at the moment. And it will be a Psychic energy that is produced next for them, as the Wonders just pull their second Raichu, so they get that Pikachu onto the bench, and their benched Raichu gets its first of 2 required energy, as again the Flash, 40 damage onto the Abra, bringing it down to 20 health. The Allies once again left to think about how they want to approach this, but they have just produced the Professor's Research, so they are going to draw 2 more cards, the Rocky Helmet and the Pokeball. They can get another basic Pokemon, and it is either going to be an Eevee or one of the 2 Giratina, and it is the Giratina being pulled that does require a Psychic and a Grass type energy, as well as a 3rd energy of either of the 2. And they do decide to go with the Giratina on to the bench as well, and instead of setting up the Kadabra, they're going to get an energy onto the Giratina, knowing that the next energy they are producing is going to be a Grass type energy, but they retreat the Abra. They move the Leafeon back into the active spot. It can go back on the offensive. Again, they've still got that Alakazam as the Leafy Cyclone takes the Manectric off the board, and the Allies are 1 point away from taking this to a Game 3 in hopes of keeping their season alive, as the Wonders immediately move the Raichu into the active spot. With that Spark, it will do 40 damage. The Leafeon a very easy target, as the Polmot has been pulled for the Wonders. That second Raichu does come online, and that Spark will also do 20 damage to one of the bench Pokemon of the Allies choosing, and they're going to take the Abra off the board. So just like that, they have leveled the playing field. It is a 2-point v 2-point game. The Wonders hope in the end the Allies season keep their own season alive and win this series, but the Giratina has been moved into the active spot. The second Alakazam has been pulled. This Crisis Dive can do 120 damage, but they can't do it this turn because it still requires 1 more energy. They do put the Rocky Helmet onto the Giratina, and the Alakazam is now online as well. They are trying to offset some of the energy that Raichu can produce. The Wonders do pull their Electric, and they're going to play this Iono that has been in hand since the very start, trying to see what they can get. It does replace the cards that were shuffled in. They get a Polmot, they get a Rocky Helmet, they get a Polmo. And those names are awfully close, but I guess that's fitting because those Pokemon look ridiculously similar. As they get an energy onto the benched Raichu, the Rocky Helmet on the active Raichu, they go with the Spark. It does 40 damage to the Giratina, 20 to the Alakazam, but there's that Rocky Helmet being activated, and with that, the Holon Allies can get a 3rd energy onto this active Giratina here, and it can go for this Crisis Dive, and they will take this to a Game 3 to keep their season alive. They are trying to avoid that wooden crown at all costs, and they need to start winning series here. There are only 3 rounds remaining. And with our final board reset here, it will be the last coin flip of this series, and it will be the Holon Allies once again going first, as they are using their Gold Rush deck. This deck has been very inconsistent for them this season. There is a lot that is required, but the Wonders with their Fuego Ironworks deck, a heavy hitting deck that it is the Shinx in the active spot against the Gimmighoul for the Holon Allies. The Adamant has been pulled as well. We can see the Pokemon Communication in hand. They've also got the Mothim, the Probopass, and the Goldango. Now that Goldango has maximum damage potential. The more metal energy they can get onto it, the more chances it has of doing 50 damage. They send it over to the Wonders though, who do pull their Electabuzz. They've got an Electivire, a Luxio, and a Luxray in hand. This is a fantastic starting hand for the Wonders. They get an energy onto the Shinx so it can go for that hide, which will prevent it from taking damage in the coming turn if they flip ahead. Gimmighoul with its Chestoflage actually does the exact same thing. Neither of these two can go on the offensive right now, so both these sides can just try and set up as the Allies do pull the Pokeball. They have generated a fighting energy. It will be a metal energy next, and the Nose Pass has been pulled, which is good if they want to get that Probopass online. They do get an energy onto the Gimmighoul. And they are going to play that Pokemon Communication. They're sending the Mothim, who has that crucial 0 retreat cost. We've seen that come into play this season, back into the deck, and it's the Burmy that they get out in its place. And they are going with this Chestoflage, similar to the hide. They need to flip aheads to ensure it won't take any damage, and that is exactly what happens. So we know the Gimmighoul will not take any damage in this coming turn. As it goes back over to the Wonders, they get the Celestic Town Elder. This can allow them to get a random basic Pokemon from their discard pile, but their discard pile is empty at the moment, as the Electivire is online, so is the Luxio. Now the Luxio can't do anything to this Gimmighoul right now, but 1 more energy and the Luxray can come online, and it can do 120 damage. It has to discard all of its energy to any Pokemon on the opposing team. The Allies do pull their second Goldango, and they are going to get a metal energy onto the Gimmighoul here. And they go with the retreat, so they're going to retreat the Gimmighoul. Now they can evolve both their Pokemon, and with the admin in hand, it will reduce the damage that they take by 20. Now Probopass is already safe from Luxray damage, but Gholdengo is not. They need to play this admin. The Burmy is online. And they're not playing the admin. They need to think about this. They've rushed their decision. They have made a mistake. The Gholdengo is an easy target that Luxray can target it. The Professor's research has been pulled for the Wonders. They do pull the Luxio, they pull the Pokeball. They can get another basic Pokemon out of this deck, and it is going to be the Pachirisu with that Plasma being pulled. It does only do 10 damage, but it can generate a lightning type energy as well. But here is the third energy onto the Luxio, although they are taking their time. And there it is, the Luxray now online. It just needs this energy, and that is what they're doing. That Volt Bolt can do 120 damage. And they are targeting that Gholdengo, the allies, making a crucial error to not play the Adamant. And that is the first point for the Wonders, as the second Adamant now has been pulled. And there's more metal energy being produced as the Probopass does get its first metal energy here. It does require at least 3 of them, plus a 4th energy that can be any color they need to start going on the offensive. As they are starting to get these energy back onto the Luxray, the second Pachirisu has been pulled for the Wonders, and the allies do pull their second Gimmighoul, so they can get that Gholdengo online as they're waiting for that Luxray to get enough energy for the Volt Bolt. There is the second energy as well onto the Probopass. As we can see, they're continuing to produce these metal energy. The second Shinx has been pulled for the Wonders as well. And there's the second energy onto the Luxray. They've also got the Volkners in that deck. There are 2 of them to keep in mind that can get 2 energy from the Wonders discard pile and move them to either a Luxray or an Electivire. The Dawn has been pulled and the Gholdengo is online. And now the allies are going to play the Adamant. They want to ensure that both the Gholdengo and the Probopass are safe, but unfortunately that means the Burmy is an easy choice for the Wonders. That Probopass still requires 1 more energy. It only does 30 damage, but it gets 3 coin flips. For every heads, it does an additional 50. It can do 180 damage. And here is the Volt Bolt for the second time, and the Luxray choosing the Burmy to eliminate 1 more point, and the Wonders win the series, and the allies are going to be crowned our wooden crown recipients of the season. Not quite the honor that it sounds like, as now the 4th energy has been placed onto the Probopass that will have those coin flips for this triple nose. They need at least 2, they get 1. They get a Tails, they get the second heads, it will do 130 damage. The Luxray is wiped off the board, but with that said, the Probopass takes 20 recoil damage from the Rocky Helmet, so a Luxray can actually now take out the Probopass in 1 hit. But let's not say that too soon, because there is still that Adamant in hand for the Holon Allies. It is the Electivire being moved in the active spot, and there is a Volkner being pulled for the Wonders. Again, it can generate 2 energy. The Electivire needs 4 energy to be able to do 120 damage. And there is the second Luxray coming online as well, and they are thinking of playing the Volkner. They've hesitated here. They don't potentially want to risk it because that Probopass may be able to take out the Electivire. Again, they will need 2 heads as the Burmy and Wormadam are in hand for the allies. The Adamant is being played. They want to keep the Probopass and the Gholdengo safe as they start to get energy onto the Gholdengo. Another triple nose. They need 2 heads. They get a Tails. They get a heads. They get another heads. They will take out this Electivire, and it is a 1-point game. The next point will decide who wins this series. Will the allies still be able to avoid that wooden crown position, or will the Wonders end their hopes? The Luxray is moved in to the active spot. They have just played the Adamant, we have to keep in mind. So the metal types will take 20 less damage, which means they are both safe from this Luxray taking them off the board, but the Luxray has just put on the giant cape, which means that Probopass would require 3 energy to take it off the board. They're still going to play this Volkner because they want to maximize their damage and not run the risk. With this Volt Bolt, they can target either the Gholdengo or the Probopass, and they choose to go with the Gholdengo, bringing it down to only 20 health. The allies pull their second nose pass. Now they can get another metal energy as they continue to produce these onto that Gholdengo. Another triple nose. They need all 3 heads to take out this Luxray. They get 1. They only get 2. They miss the second flip, which means the Luxray is safe. It still has 20 health remaining of its own. The Wonders have pulled their second Volkner. This is when they need it. There is no Adamant in play. They get energy onto the Luxray. They play the Volkner. They get another 2 onto the Luxray, and it can target whoever it wants with this Volt Bolt, and the Levincia Wonders are going to win this series, getting the Volkner at the perfect time to hold on. And this means for the Holon Allies, they are guaranteed the wooden crown this season. Now the question is, can they get a win? Whereas the Wonders move up into 6th place, 1 spot out of our top 5, but next round they are going up against the Petalburg Razors, whereas the Allies will be going up against the Turffield Ebonies. But until then, Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought the best card was, and if you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like, share, subscribe, but more importantly, always remember, send thanks, and I'll see you when you see me.